Sri Veronica, and today is a day in history. The Essex whaling ship had signs that they should turn back, but they didn't. 2 days into their journey, they were hit by a storm and the ship was damaged. They didn't turn back. After they reached what they thought was bountiful whaling grounds off the coast of South America, they realized that the area was depleted. No area is really depleted. These animals are intelligent and they know when to disappear. But let the story go on. The area was depleted, and while they were there trying to, find anything they can find, one of their ships was destroyed by a whale. That's the second omen that they should turn back, but they didn't. So they went off to an island off the Galapagos, and they were trying to find food because they're running short now. There's weeks now on the water and they're running short. And they took tortoises and they took birds and they took whatever they wanted from the island. It's called Charles Island. And then they burned the island down. They burned the island down. Okay? Everything on the island died. A lot of the mockingbirds, the tortoises, all things that were native to that island, near extinct. So the whales were waiting for the Essex, because people don't realize that these things communicate. Whales are intelligent beings. Trees are intelligent beings. And when that island was burned, it was on. It was on. So while they continue on looking for whales or looking for, stock to take back to their country, because they can use whale oil to light, the street lanterns. It was used to light the streets, and you could do a whole lot with a couple whales. But while they were hunting whales, Moby Dick was hunting them. Okay, so when they saw Moby Dick, the story of this particular event, they thought, oh, that's an unusually big sperm whale. It was almost 85 feet long, and it was just laying there. What could be wrong with that particular whale? We're going to harpoon it. Harpoon it? The whale harpooned the Essex. It turned after it had almost split that ship in two, and decided, I'm gonna F it up. I'm gonna turn around. And I hit it right there on the left. I'm going to go back. I hit it on the right. Decimated. And Moby Dick turned around and hit the Essex again. And it was all over. When they looked for Moby, the whale, the sperm whale, they said that it had disappeared. It was waiting for them, because the trees on Charles Island, the birds on Charles Island, the native animals had all communicated with the whales that this is what they did. They came, they took, they killed us, and they burned our island home down, and the whales were waiting for them. So what else happened after that? They started to eat each other, because they were so decimated. The food gone, the ship gone, all the supplies gone. And they started to look at each other, and they saw burgers, they saw meat, they saw a chicken leg and stuff. Seeing each other as humans, they started to say, ooh, that's a fillet of fish. And they started eating each other. And then by the time, months had gone, and by the time that the few of them survived and they were spotted by a ship, when the rescuer reached out to pull them into the ship, they thought that the rescuer was a whale. They thought it was a monster. They thought it was a demon. They did not see a human reaching out for them as being a human. They saw it as being a monstrous event. But they were rescued, and even as they recuperated, and even as they settled back on land, they were not the same. after Moby Dick did to them what Moby Dick did to them. They were not the same. Yeah, they tried to get about their lives, but they were never the same. They would have food in the house and still hide food in the attic. They would be warm in the house, but still think they're wet. They would have a wife and didn't know that they had a wife. They would have a kid and didn't recognize the kid. They were never the same. Once they had those 3 omens, those 3 things that they did that told them to turn around, and they went on and they burned that island. When they burned that island, it was on. The signal went out. The way the trees and the root system communicate and the way the whales communicated, they were waiting. They were waiting for the Essex. Today is a day in history. Chez Veronica.